y'all, welcome and welcome back to my channel. It's me, Kia Simone, and China. Y'all know, normally I stay in this house and I mind my business. I don't be all through these YouTube streets and everybody's business, okay? I just mind my own. But Tamika done told it, Kandi spoke on it, and now Tocha is talking back. It's a time. Let's get into it. Before we do, please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe. Of course, I got to shout out my super thanks and shout out to Yvette Greer and Elijah's Mimi. I love y'all. Shout out to all my day ones and all of the 12.4 thousand subscribers. Thank you. Now, child, let's get into this mess because, you know, I want gossip. I'm going to just tell y'all what I had heard. So, of course, y'all know Tamika done come down to YouTube and told us her side. She done told us, yeah, they done stole up all my money while I was pregnant with my baby and my oldest child was in college and my husband around here looking at me crazy because he got to pay taxes on money we ain't never got. Child, yeah, she told us everything, right? Now, Kandi decided she was going to speak on it, and y'all came in the comments, you need to go listen to Kandi speak on it. I know you don't like Kandi like that, but you need to go listen to the speak on it. So I went and listened to the speak on it, and I'll be damned if Kandi didn't spoke on it. So the one thing all of them agree on is that there was a lot cut out that we did not see. That they felt like these arguments and conversations and disagreements were so extensive and involved, and Bravo only showed us a fraction. So they all agree on that part. Now, what the truth is of what was left out, that is in question. Of course, there's three sides to every story. So we got Tamika's side, Kandi's side, and Tocha's side. So Kandi said most of what she heard from Tiny Mama. So she used the word allegedly a lot because she said she don't want nobody suing her. I ain't got time for that. Y'all already stealing money. I ain't got time for y'all to be costing me no more money. So if you got a problem, go see Tiny's mama because Tiny's mama might be about that life. Kandi gave the backstory to this whole how the $30,000 came about to get stolen. So apparently there's a company called Sound Exchange that collects performance royalties on behalf of artists for airplay. Tiny's mom found out about this company and signed all the ladies up so that they could collect all their coins. Now, apparently, when Tiny's mama signed them all up, I guess she just used everybody's mama's address because Kandi said her check was going to her mom's house. And I don't know if Tamika and Latasha's checks were going to their moms. I don't know. I don't know, child. I'm just telling you what I heard. Now, Kandi said when this change started coming in, it was a nice chunk of change because they didn't know about this company for a few years after the company started. So there was some backed up unpaid royalties for them to collect. Kandi said allegedly when they started kicking out those coins and cutting those checks, somebody who she did not want to name was collecting Tamika's check, signing Tamika's name, and then depositing the check into their account that was not Tamika's account. Now, Kandi said in terms of stealing the money or taking the checks, it would have been easy to pull off because they didn't really know that they were supposed to be getting these checks. It was Tiny's mama that knew because Tiny's mama signed everybody up. And she said that this was definitely at a time when Tamika needed her money because she was pregnant, she did have a child in college, and Xscape was not performing. And I'm assuming that was her primary source of income. Now, I got a question. How did Tiny's mama confirm where to send Tamika's check? Did she not reach out to Tamika? Did she talk to Latasha and Latasha said, I'll just take care of it for my sister? Like, how was the determination made to send the checks to wherever they were going that was not Tamika's address? Why not reach out to each of the ladies to let them know that, listen, there's money out there for y'all. Let me make sure y'all are getting this money and make sure each lady is getting their check. Were they not communicating at that point where Tiny couldn't call the ladies and be like, hey, my mama found us some money. Where you want her to send this? I'm just thinking that might have avoided some of this. I mean, but what we gonna do now? $30,000 gone. Kandi said the way Tamika found out she wasn't getting her money was Tiny's mama was checking to make sure everybody got their check. Baby, you got your money. You got your check. And Tamika said, what check you talking about? I ain't no check. Miss Diane said, oh, hell no. And she went to digging. So when she went to digging, she found out that her checks had been distributed and deposited. And Tamika said, well, it was not deposited by me. But apparently the only way to get her money back would be to press charges. And of course, she didn't want to press charges on her sister. Now me, I would go buy me a new outfit to go to the police station and press them damn charges. And I can say that with confidence because I'm sure that if I stole $30,000 from my sister, she would go to a nice brunch when she left from pressing charges on me, okay? And I wouldn't blame her. My sister ordered extra mimosas and keep them coming. No, I'm celebrating. Kandi said, but all of this is alleged because, you know, she wasn't around at that time. That's back when they weren't just kicking it. And so, yeah, all she can tell us is what was told to her. This was she had heard from Tiny Mama, but she believes it. And I do too. Then Kandi goes on to give us the scoop on old Pastor Woodbine. She said her favorite house to hang out at back in the day was Tamika and Latasha's house because they could do anything they wanted. Now, Kandi is a preacher's kid herself. She said her daddy comes from a line of bishops, but she actually benefited from her parents' divorce. Since they weren't together, she wasn't under the strict religious rule of her father. Her mother actually supported her secular endeavors, and that allowed her to become Kandi of Xscape. She said, but old Mama Glow was running a regular old Bobby Jones gospel show. She said over there, they could run the streets and do anything they want all hours of the night with no curfew as teenagers in Atlanta. Kandi said she got pictures of them in the club. She 14, 15 years old with a fake ID. Old Pastor Woodbine didn't give a damn. Long as they was back in time to hit the church door on Sunday morning. Now, didn't I tell y'all that Tocha and her mama strike me as the type of people who bust down the church door early on Sunday morning? Didn't I tell y'all that? This right here is why Tocha thinks she can do anything she want to do and act a fool and come give us a gospel album and we supposed to eat it up. Girl, Kandi also went on to go into how she is annoyed that Tocha is blaming her for her solo career never happening. She said that Bravo cut out a lot of their conversation at the management meeting, but there was this whole exchange between Latasha and Kandi where Latasha expressed to Kandi that she is upset with her because she tried to reach out to Kandi. And Kandi said she asked her, what is you talking about? When did you call me? And she said, I called you when we first got back together and you never called me back. Kandi said 6 years ago. Well, since Kandi didn't call her back, Tocha got one better for her. Right now, apparently, Tocha ain't talking to no damn body. Don't nobody have her number. She just changed her number out of nowhere on everybody. And the only way that Tiny got her number was that she texted Tiny 2 days before the episode aired because she was having a listening party for this gospel album from hell. And she texted Tiny and told Tiny about the listening party and said, oh yeah, invite the girls. Meaning Kandi and her damn sister. Now, she's on a press tour about how family is everything and disrespect this and disrespect that. But your sister is one of the girls in a text to Tiny about your listening party. Girl, if you don't go to hell. Kandi said that in her opinion, this is always what Tocha does when she thinks she doesn't need them anymore, when she either has a solo project lined up or she thinks she has a solo project lined up, she starts treating them like and she can't be bothered with them. She is David Ruffin and they is the Temptation. She is Eddie Kane and they is the Heartbeats. Kandi said what we also did not see from that management meeting was that Tocha left the meeting in tears. And child, I'm so glad we didn't because she'd have pissed me off after you came in there with that nasty attitude. You got the nerve to cry. Cry me a damn river. So then Kandi goes on to address this anniversary brunch conversation that was all about her, where Tocha basically said that she thought it was Kandi's fault that her album never came out. Kandi's theory is that she thinks Tocha made this conversation all about her in order to deflect from the issue between Tocha and Tamika so that it would keep her family drama off of the show. Now, that ain't never crossed my mind. I thought, well, that's an idea. Kandi said that's what she was expecting all along. She didn't even expect this drama between Tocha and Tamika. She expected that Tocha was going to be dragging her because that's Tasha's life's work. Now, if Kandi's theory is true, and Tocha thought that her talking about Kandi and this 30-year-old beef was going to deflect and distract from her fighting with her sister over $30,000, then she's the fool Rocky takes her for, because ain't no damn way. Now, I thought this was a way to introduce the conversation of her wanting to do a solo album and have this gospel aspiration. I didn't think she was trying to get the sister stuff cut out. Kandi said, and another damn thing. She's sick of the narrative that she was jealous of LaTocha because LaTocha did all the lead vocals when they were in Xscape. So Kandi gave us a good old CD chart and pulled up their track list to tell us how many songs she had lead vocals on. And apparently on the first album, I think she had lead vocals on 8 out of 10 songs. And on the second album, she had lead vocals on like 9 out of 12 songs, basically the majority of all of them. That both she and Tocha had lead vocals on most of the songs. She said between their second and third albums, Tocha started shopping for her solo deal. Now, once they had done the first 2 albums, they were trying to get bigger money on their third album contract. But because Tocha was shopping for a solo deal, that kind of undermined their ability to ask for more money because they looked unstable. So Kandi was basically saying that by the time they got to the third album, they knew that Tocha was trying to go solo. She said the issue came in when they were recording the third album. Basically what was happening is that they would come in, have Tocha do most of the vocals. Tiny and Tamika weren't even really coming into the studio. And then they would have Kandi come in to do background vocals because Kandi has this distinctive voice. Kandi said, now y'all can say, I can't sing. But the truth is I have a distinctive voice, and they used to turn up my background vocals because she was the distinction, I think, in the Xscape sound. And sidebar, I just want to address the whole Kandi cannot sing theory, because here's what I think the issue is, okay? As someone who grew up listening to Xscape, I think what happened, at least from my perspective, is Kandi got on Real Housewives of Atlanta. And we knew Kandi as Kandi from Xscape. Well, Kandi will sing at random. Because of the type of voice Kandi has to be conscious and selective of her song choice, and she's not. Now, I think because Kandi is musically inclined, she kind of hears music, she can produce any kind of music, which makes her good as a songwriter. But because her voice is so different and distinctive, and she kind of sings like she don't open her throat, like she is singing around something. So she has this distinctive sound, and you can't put that on any song. You can't just, I'm gonna sing this. No, you're not. No, you're not. Like, I think some of the Xscape music is developed with her voice in mind. Whereas Kandi can develop music that works for other voices, it don't always necessarily work for her own. But anyway, Kandi said basically they would have her come in, do her background vocals. The other 2 ladies weren't coming in, and Tamika was doing the most of the vocals. So at that point, she says that's when she got upset and said basically y'all are playing us to the left and setting her up for a solo album. We cannot deny that I think that there was a beef, and that was known to everybody at the point of that third album when Xscape broke up, that there was a beef about the solos and the lead singers. But Kandi says the group breaking up was actually kind of the best thing that ever happened for her, because that's what pushed her into songwriting and real money. She said because they knew that Tocha was shopping for her solo deal by their third album, she and Tiny started working on their own stuff, because this is about to come to an end. So she and Tiny started recording music, writing music, and they wanted to be able to demonstrate to a label that they could executive produce their own album. Well, she said Tocha and Rocky thought that was funny. They were laughing in their face, like, we won't let y'all executive produce anything. Well, the way that history went is that Kandi and Tiny have since executive produced a whole lot of things. I guess that's a good demonstration of laugh now, cry later. So now on top of Tocha and her husband laughing in Kandi and Tiny's faces, what ended up happening was Tocha got her solo deal, and then Kandi also got her a solo deal. Well, Tocha got shelved and her album never to this day came out, but Kandi's did. Kandi said, that ain't my problem. She needs to take that up with Jermaine Dupri. Kandi said, now before y'all get into the whole, well, you was screwing Jermaine Dupri. She said, hold on, player. Tocha got her solo deal while she and Jermaine were involved. So if she could get the solo deal while Kandi was dealing with Jermaine, why she couldn't get the album out while Kandi was dealing with Jermaine? Child, I don't know. Kandi wrapped it all up by saying she feels like history is repeating itself. Tocha used them as leverage to get this gospel solo deal. Kandi said, but it's all right. She done made so much money. She got so much success. She said Tocha needs a win. So she asked the public to please go support this album when it come out so she don't get blamed again, because she ain't got time for this bullshit and everybody needs a win and she got a whole bunch of them and Tocha ain't got none. So please, y'all go give her one. Now, in the meantime, Tamika done made her another video, okay? And Tamika recap basically what happened in the episode. And the one question that stood out to me is she want to know who Rocky threatening. Who you talking to? What you mean there's going to be consequences? She said, I didn't know there was consequences to telling the truth. So what does he mean when he says there is going to be consequences? I know that's right. Watch where you're walking, all that loud talk, player. Don't come over here with that. I understand. He going to have to Cardi B that thing all the way out for me to believe him. Because I believe Tamika 100%. I just believe her. He just looks like scratch a lie, find a thief. He look like he just look like he steal. He just... Well, I guess everybody talking so Tocha finally decided to talk back. You know, she was trying to do the stoic, quiet thing, and that ain't working, baby, because I think the feds is watching. So she decided she is going to start answering some questions, because this here is getting deep and it ain't going away. Now, I saw an interview that she did with a gospel radio station where she just basically kept coming for Tamika's character. And she's trying to attack her on a moral level about disrespecting their mom. And she talked to my mom this kind of way and yada, yada, yada. Child. Okay. We want to know if you and your husband got this girl money. Did y'all give Georgia Power their money? So she did this interview on the gospel station about how she's so disappointed in her sister and she's dealing with their relationship through prayer. Her defense mechanism is moral superiority, and it annoys me. And my thing is, why is she harping so deeply on Tamika is so wrong on a moral level and sidestepping everything about this money? She said in the first interview and the second, which we'll get into in a second, that this was nonsensical and impossible. She said, I mean, tell me, how do you sign somebody's checks and put them in your account? It's called signing over a check. It's the same thing they do at the liquor store. When people take their check to cash it at the liquor store, they sign it over, and the liquor store give them cash for their check. And then they take their check that they signed over to the bank and they get their money. That's how. In the first interview, the guy asked if there's going to be this super show between SWV and Xscape. And she's talking about, stay tuned. And she made sure to make it clear that she and Coco of SWV know each other well. They talk and they just are like, what is going on here? Oh, so y'all got a lead singers union, girl. Well, that little gospel station interview was cute, but then she went to V103 with Big Tigger and Shamia, and Shamia wasn't with that gospel station bullshit. Okay, Shamia asked some real questions. Shamia said, this $30,000 that your sister is accusing you of stealing, please help me understand. Tocha said, listen, I never stole from my sister. I would never steal from my sister. And it's questionable because we've been doing shows all this time and this is the first I've heard of it. You mean to tell me I stole all your money, but we've been pulling stunts and shows and you ain't never said nothing until you got into the testimonial? She said now her sister got her being attacked every day and it's the tricks of TV. What? How much editing they gotta do to make her sister say, you and your husband stole my money? And how much editing they gotta do to make her mama say some shit like she just jealous? Shamia said, well, speaking of, I got a question because your sister said your mom always taking your side. Do you think you your mom's favorite? Tocha said, no, I absolutely don't. Tocha says the people didn't see everything. There were so many disrespectful things said, so many things that her sister said and did. But you know, Tigger, you know I don't put my family business out there. That's just not the way we are, that they were taught to maintain this bond. They may fuss and fight and shake the tables at home, but when they go outside those doors, it's all love, child. And that sounds like basically what Kandi said, that your mama don't give a damn how much hell is running through that house as long as y'all paint the perfect picture when y'all go outside. In case you did not know, that's not a healthy way to be. That y'all can fight and tear each other down in private spaces, but then you better smile and act like it's all good when you go out in the public. That is not healthy or normal. Tocha goes on to say that what people overlooked is that in this scene, when they were all fighting, is that her mom said, I don't care what nobody said, and she was getting on both of them. And then she goes on to say, but that's my little sister. Tamika's always been my little sister, and she's the one who will, you know, go off on the mouth and say whatever she thinks. Basically, she's always been the smart mouth black sheep of the family. But we've never had these problems until now. Well, yeah. Yeah, because if she's letting y'all take advantage of her and mistreat her and doing any foul thing to earn your love, and then she finally stops doing that and draws her some boundaries and starts bucking back, yeah, it's gonna be a problem. Shamika said, I got some motion. It came across my desk, and so I ain't just being messy. The streets are saying your husband got an outside baby. Is that true? Shamia, you was doing your damn job, girl. Tamika said, no, there is no child. There is no outside child, period. And she circles right into her victim speech about, see, that's the thing about when people hear things, you know. See, I've just been attacked from day one, and it's been non-stop. It's just been non-stop. I've just been in the media. Ain't that what you was trying to be in the media? Didn't you want a solo deal to be a solo star in the media? Then Shamia asked her about her blaming Kandi for her album never coming out. Shamia said, you really believe that? Tigger said, Kandi said you need to take that shit up with Jermaine Dupri. Did you ever take it up with JD? She said, no, I didn't. Okay, that's problem number one. You looking for checks in the wrong mailbox. Why is you at Kandi about your album never came out? You never had a conversation with Jermaine Dupri about it. Tocha said, I thought it was very odd that Kandi's album came out and mine didn't, because I always was the one who said I wanted to do something solo, and she said I shouldn't be able to do that. Somehow to her, it correlates that Kandi kept saying, if you get a solo deal, you're not coming back. And Kandi had a solo album. I don't know what in the Chinese arithmetic you talking about, but this is some bullshit. She literally said, Kandi kept saying, you're not coming back, you're not coming back. And then she gets the record deal. She never wanted the record deal. It was me that always wanted it. I wanted it. I said what it was. She was upset. She went to get one. What does that have to do with your album never came out? She said all of a sudden at the time, her album comes out and my album was shelved, and her and Jermaine had a great relationship at that time because they were partners. Shamia said, what kind of partners? Like business partners? Shamia, you is messy. Tocha said, no. partners. Poking partners. They was humping. Shamia said, oh, okay, I never heard that. Girl, you's a damn lie. And Kandi has said in her speak on it that, yeah, they trying to run this narrative about who she was sleeping with, and that's how she got what she got, and that's how so-and-so didn't get what they were supposed to get. She said, but the person who was working her deal at Columbia at the time got fired in the middle of working her deal. So somebody else had to come in and finish her deal. So even if she had been dealing with that person, that ain't had nothing to do with her getting her deal or Tasha's album not coming out. She said, and in terms of her dealing with Jermaine Dupri, the thing about that is she was dealing with Jermaine Dupri when Tocha was shopping for the solo deal. She was dealing with Jermaine Dupri when Jermaine Dupri gave Tocha the solo deal. Now, I don't know if Tocha is saying, you know, I got the solo deal and then Kandi took Jermaine to the hotel, motel, Holiday Inn and let her love come down and then she stopped it from coming out. I don't know. But I would assume that if she could let her love come down and stop the deal in terms of the album coming out, she could stop the deal in terms of getting the contract signed in the first place. I mean, that's what I would think. So Tamika asked her, Tocha, let me ask you this. So 30 years later, do you wish you were never in the group? David Ruffin had the nerve to say, no, absolutely not, because I created the group. The name Xscape came from me. I said, well, what in the Ike Turner hell is this? This girl said, I created the group. The name came from me. Bitch, it's mine. Tamika said, okay, Dave, listen, if anything could be different, if you could change anything, what would you change? What would be different? This heifer said she wishes that everyone would sit down and speak their minds. Just get everything off their chest because they've never done that. I said, well, heifer, ain't you the reason y'all ain't never did that? Don't you sit there and say you got to pray on everything and don't ever talk about nothing. Ain't that what you be doing? Now, don't get me wrong. I understand Kandi was the problem for a long time because the last time y'all went doing radio tours, Kandi said y'all was lying on her when y'all said her and her box was tearing up the group. But ain't the reason y'all ain't talking through your issues is because you refusing to talk through your issues? Now, while Tocha is giving this Easter speech, Shamia steps in to say, listen, let me ask you this, because they'll be here tomorrow. Yeah. So, if you could leave them a message, what would it be? Because we going to tell them. This lady had the nerve to say, when we think about our legacy and the fans, let's not be so quick to get caught up in self. I mean, and I'm talking about myself included. She said that it's so much deeper than just the music and them. And she's been praying about this every night. But who cares about the truth when a lie is so entertaining? Girl, well, entertain us with some facts. Entertain us with some evidence. If everybody is lying on you and we're just being entertained by the destruction of your reputation, dispel the bullshit. Shamia said, well, tell me, what was the biggest lie you think was told on you, please? Sis didn't say that my husband was stealing checks. Sis decided to circle the conversation back around to her and Kandi. I said, well, wait a minute now. Wasn't this your chance to say that that was the biggest lie told on you? Wait a minute now. She goes into how it was cut out, that she told Kandi how she's been there for Kandi over the years. She's been there for Kandi when her baby was born. I was the only group member to show up when she was on the cover of Essence. I went to support her plays, but that was never reciprocated to me. Well, what were you doing that she did not support? And was this during the time when y'all were beefing because you and your sister had gone to the radio station and said that the group fell apart because of her and her box and Jermaine? Like, is that when this all was going down? What it sounds like to me is that Tocha wants Kandi to leverage all of the relationships that she's built over the years to reciprocate the support to Tocha. That's what I think. Basically, you did get the solo album. You did become the songwriter. You did win the Grammy. You did have all this commercial success. And so I've been trying to support you behind the scenes. And what you could do is you could use some of that success that you've gained to help me. That's just what it sounds like to me. So Tocha ends the interview with a tearful expression about how hurtful it is to see her mom being dragged. And I'm sure it is, but your mom is a mess. I'm sorry. The way that she approaches the relationship between the sisters and her relationship with her daughter is extremely unhealthy. It's toxic. It's problematic. And I hope you don't think the general public is going to uphold her just because she's your mother when she's dead wrong. I'm so sorry. That's something you're going to have to go and pray about. They mentioned that her album will be out in the first week in April. And she said that the music and God is her refuge. Girl, I'm sorry. I'm not swayed. Okay. I absolutely believe Tamika's story. Now, if Tamika's lying, then I'm going to just be a damn fool. But I believe her. I'm sorry. It just has the ring of truth. And there's something about LaTosha that just don't sit right with me. There's something about her that screams inauthentic. There's something about her that screams nice nasty. Like she got that church house nice nasty real bad. And I just don't buy her story. I'm sorry. I believe before we hear that Tamika is lying, we'll hear a surviving Rocky story. That's just me. That's just what I think. But that's it. That's all. And I ain't got no more because, you know, I ain't really wanting to gossip. I just came down here to tell y'all what I had heard. Thank you so much for coming down here, listening to me, and let me get this off my chest. Please be sure to like, share, comment, and subscribe if you have not already. And in the meantime, until next time, just like every time, I love y'all, and I mean that. Bye.